better thing to have than a bowl of candy for teachers.
There you go. If you like to have
no way to my heart, yes.
Feel welcome. Okay, so today I'm interviewing Emily Young to consider for an elementary classroom position. The date is April 26, 2017. My name is Amanda Connolly, and is it okay to record your interview and to use it to help others learn more about this interview process?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Is the information in your application current and up to date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what degrees do you hold, or are you in the process of earning?
So I'm certified in early childhood education, so it's birth to third, and I also hold my substitute certification.
Okay. And then describe for me your experiences in working with children, including grade and subject areas.
Okay, so while I was in Columbia at school, I worked at a preschool for 4 years where I was a teacher aide, floating around, helping wherever needed. I was also the summer school, school-aged teacher, so it was all summer for kids 5 to 12. So we did like a little mini economics society, so it was a lot of fun. All the kids got to create their own, like their lands, come up with their own currency, their flag. So it was really nice to see how like they work together. And then I was also an the infant lead teacher at a school called Kitty Academy, where I learned a lot about flexibility and multitasking. Even with little ones, I was changing diapers, feeding them, putting them down for naps, and doing lesson plans, hitting on their developmental goals. So it wasn't just, easy babysitting job. It was actually way more than that. So it really taught me a lot about multitasking.
Good.
Currently, I work at Mainier Primary in Afton. I was a teacher aide for kindergarten. It's been a very busy year. I started as the kindergarten assistant, and then in October, I was asked, out of all the 10 teacher assistants, if I wanted to work as a para for a one-on-one with a student who had just been running away from the school, and he was safety hazard. So they wanted me to work one-on-one with him, create anecdotal notes, and try to get him special needs services. Mm-hmm. So it was awesome to have that positive relationship with him and help him get what he needed. So then once he got special needs services, they actually, of all the other 10 TAs, they asked me to be a long-term substitute for a kindergarten teacher. So that was a really exciting moment for me that they picked me. They knew I was dependable. They knew my classroom management style. So that was just a great opportunity. So now that the teacher is back from surgery, I'm back at being a teacher aide. So it's been a very busy but fun year.
Great. So I'm going to begin the formal questions, if that's okay.
Yes.
You ready to get started? All right. You are meeting with a new student. What is your most important priority?
I think getting to know them, their interest. What sets me apart from a lot of other teachers is I really want to put the kids' interests into my lesson plans. Not just have a boring lesson plan where their focus might be elsewhere. I want to really hit their interests in the lesson plan to make it fun and engaging for everyone. And knowing that I care about them, getting on their level, knowing, hey, I'm here, I care about you. We're going to have a fun year together.
Okay. So why is that your most important priority?
Because as a kindergarten, when going to kindergarten, when I was in kindergarten, my kindergarten teacher was a huge role model for me. Mm-hmm. She's the reason I became a teacher. Mm-hmm. She actually, when I graduated from Mizzou, I called her and told her, you're the reason I became a teacher. And then I sent her my graduation announcement, and she actually came to my graduation at Mizzou. So it was just an awesome moment. Mm-hmm. I hadn't seen her in 20 years maybe, and she came to my graduation, tears in her eyes, just so happy that she had impacted my life. I want to have the same impact on those kids' lives.
You overhear two students talking about being treated unfairly by you. What would be your first thought?
I would not argue with them one bit. I would go right to them first, understand them, get at their level. What makes you upset? Let's talk about this. Let's problem solve before I overreact, before I already come up with a punishment or something. I want to know, hey, let's work on this together. What am I doing that's unfair? Let's talk about it so we're all happy.
Okay, so how do you ensure that you're treating all students fairly?
I think just getting to know how they're being assessed and seeing what can I do to better them. If there's a lesson that goes poorly, I shouldn't just be like, oh, it's kids, they don't know anything. Mm-hmm. I need to look deep inside me and evaluate myself before judging the kids and their needs first, definitely.
Okay. Is it likely a parent might accuse you of not understanding his or her point of view regarding their child?
Never, because I am very big about parent communication. At Manier, I had an open door policy where parents were able to come in, volunteer whenever they wanted. I gave them my personal cell phone number. Call me, email me if you have a problem, please.
So if a parent did respond to you this way, how would you respond?
I would give them the Oreo sandwich method. Say something positive and talk about it. See eye to eye. We're both not right. We both need to come together and think about the best for the child, not the best for me, not the best for her or him. So coming together and just coming up with a solution that's best for the kid, definitely.
One of your colleagues tells you to always validate the feelings of a student. Is that a good idea?
Definitely. You don't know what kids are going through at home. That's one other thing that really hits me is I've been to a lot of schools where their home lives are very sad. So when they come to school, they depend on us for that love and care.
So how do you validate the feelings of a student?
Listen to them. I'm a great listener. I love listening to kids, even their happy things that are happening in their lives, the sad things. It's important to share those because when they go home, they might not be able to share those with with anyone else.
A student teacher is teaching your class and has a wonderful idea to make the class more interesting. You are concerned the idea will affect the amount of content to be covered. Could this be a real situation?
It could. I just want to make sure that the lesson objectives are being planned into the lesson plan.
So how else would you handle this situation?
I would ask the student teacher if I could just have a sample of her lesson plan, make sure she has the active engagement, the link, the objectives, and make sure that she has all those components that will make a good lesson plan the kids are able to learn, how she's going to assess them, how she's going to evaluate herself, how she could do it better next time. So making sure she has all those components of a great lesson plan is very effective.
Do you design and write out a lesson plan in detail for an activity or unit?
Yes.
What is the essential component you must include in your lesson plan to make sure students are learning?
Is it just one component or can I list many?
However you feel like you would like to
perfect.
answer.
Okay. So at first, I always want to know the kids' prior knowledge and their interest before developing anything else. Because if they're not engaged, then the lesson plan is going out the door. So I want to know their prior knowledge. Is it too easy for them? Is it too challenging? And then make sure that I hit the lesson objective, like I said earlier. Getting my resources. I want to be prepared because anything could happen with these kids. Making sure I have the resources, and then how am I going to teach it? Is it going to be a hands-on strategy? Is it going to be more of a, let's use technology during this? Making sure I have all those components, because if a kid doesn't understand something, let's throw that lesson plan out and try it a different way.
Okay. As a teacher, how important is your classroom learning environment?
Very important. It should be a very... You're going to say something else?
You finish your time.
Okay.
Good job.
My classroom is going to be a very positive, welcoming, loving environment.
So when you're organizing the environment, what would you be sure to accentuate?
Definitely when I'm organizing, I want my kids to be independent. I'm very big about independent learners. So anything from pencil boxes at their level, their book boxes, scissors, glue, you should be able to trust your kids on making these smart behavior choices throughout the entire day so that they know, I don't need to raise my hand for the teacher to give me my materials. I can independently get up and get them myself.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Your team of teachers is having a serious discussion about the issue of teaching specific facts or applied learning to students. Would you participate in the conversation?
I would, because I think we can all learn from each other. I don't think that it would be a conversation I would walk away from. I'm a first-year teacher, and even more than now ever, I need the guidance and the advice from the veteran teachers that know what they're doing. And if it's getting to the problem where there is a problem, well, let's talk about it. Maybe talk to the first grade or second grade team. Hey, let's all come together. Even though we're not on the same grade level, we all have great ideas.
So what would be your input regarding the issue?
About the kids not learning the material.
Your team of teachers is having a serious discussion about the issue of teaching specific facts or applied learning to students. What would be your input regarding the issue?
I think it would be teaching it in multiple ways. If the kids aren't understanding it, well, you need to teach it in a different way. Teach them how they can understand it better. If you're lecturing them on a smart board and they're looking around, paying attention, they're not going to retain the information. So maybe getting down with them and doing a hands-on activity or moving around doing a game so they're able to retain that information, make learning fun and engaging for them so that they are able to learn this information.
Okay. So a colleague of yours is really motivated when he works with students. What effect would that have on student learning?
Amazing. Yes, I'm all about, if you're enthusiastic, the kids are going to be enthusiastic. If it's a subject that you're not big into, you better make it like it's the best thing ever. Make it fun and engaging, because if you're not enthusiastic about it, why are they?
So what do you do each day for yourself so that you stay mentally motivated to work with students?
Just have a smile on my face. I don't let my personal life get with my work life. When you're at work, you're at work. But these kids, when they go home, you don't know what their lives are like. So when they come to school, they don't want to be yelled at and just treated like nothing. They want to feel special and unique. And I feel like every day you need to come in ready to teach these kids with a smile on your face.
Your principal asks you to partner with a parent of a student in your classroom. How would you respond?
Yes, because I'm all about parent communication.
So how do you build those partnerships with the parents to enhance student learning?
So when I was long-term subbing, I wasn't able to meet with every single parent. So, because I was only there for like 1 month, 2 months. So I did newsletters. I wrote positive notes home. It's sad seeing, some of these notes home that are always negative for kids. That doesn't really create a good home to school connection for the parents. They don't want to come in here if they're always getting negative notes. So when their kids are getting great notes, oh, your kid hit their reading level today, or she hit 100 sight words, they want to know those awesome positive notes. And I've been told, thank you for all the positive notes you've sent home, Miss Young. I don't like to seeing all the negative notes. I also have grandparents come in and volunteer. I guess the teacher before me didn't do a lot of parties. Well, we had a February party, and I had 20 parents come to this party, and it made my heart just so full seeing all these parents like, why didn't we get to come to any more, volunteer parties before? And so they want to be a part of their kids' education. So it makes me happy that they're able to come and help out as well.
Okay. Your team members are discussing the principal's expectation to meet the unique learning needs of all culturally diverse students. Would you support your principal's expectation?
It matters if they're realistic. I would go to the principal thinking, I'm a very high achiever. If I have my mind to it, I'll achieve it.
So how do you meet unique learning needs of all your culturally diverse students?
So I'm all about making accommodations. I would love to have a grant where I can have seating accommodations. I saw one teacher have a grant, and she had like balls and like swivel chairs and things like that for the kids who might not be able to sit still. They need those accommodations. Even things, those new things like little like flingers they have. Just having things like that for the kids that can't always sit crisscross applesauce spoons in a bowl on the carpet. Give them another way. Hey, let's sit you on the beanbag for 5 minutes, and if you can sit there, let's see if you can come back later. Just being able to not think every kid can learn the same exact way.
How do you want your students to describe you to their friends?
I think just loving, having an open heart for them, being a mother. Kind of just, them coming in knowing that they're loved and I'm going to make an impact on their lives. I know academics is very important, but I also want them to know I loved my kindergarten teacher, because I remember I loved my kindergarten teacher and the impact she made on me. So I just want to have that impact on my kids as well.
Okay. So you kind of described why you want students to describe you that way. A student believes you are not fair in grading his or her last exam. What would you do?
I would go over the expectations. Maybe if there's a rubric, go over, hey, why did your writing get 1 star instead of 4? Let's look at one example, a 4-star writing compared to his, and maybe come off base like, well, hey, do we really try our best? And if they really were having a rough day that day, I believe every kid, tomorrow's a new day, I tell them. So I always give them a second chance. Hey, let's see if you can write another all about book in an hour or so, and let's see if we can get our grade up.
Okay, so why would you respond in that manner?
Because, like I said, every kid has their day. I have my day sometimes, but I have to come to school with a smile on my face. Not every kid comes to school eating breakfast, having a good night's sleep. So with those things in mind, they aren't able to learn to their best knowledge. So I think every kid deserves a second chance.
Okay. Could 2 students engaged in a conversation respond disrespectfully to each other?
So what I do? Okay.
That's the first part. Is
Okay.
Could that happen? Could two students engage in a conversation and respond disrespectfully to each other?
Of course.
So if you overheard the conversation, what actions would you take?
So as I said, I'm a very independent teacher. I want my kids to become independent. So I think that I would, instead of me solving their problems, hey, you two, let's see if we can solve your problem together. So you're both happy and we can figure out who said what did you really mean? Maybe they saw something that the other person didn't understand. So I think just them problem solving on their own is very crucial in life itself.
Many teachers want to have a celebration for a colleague who has won a National Teacher Award. Some apathetic teachers are resisting the idea. Does it sound like a real life situation?
Yes, I guess jealousy.
What actions would you take?
I would definitely motivate them and be so excited for them. That's a big achievement to better yourself as an educator and someone notices. It's not every day everyone's like, you're doing a great job at teaching. You don't need that gold medal every day. So for you to get that kind of achievement, it's a big deal. Maybe next year, one of them, the jealous teachers, they might get it, and how would they feel if someone did that to them?
A student is not achieving in your class. You believe the student has a lot of talent. Could this occur in your classroom?
Yes.
So what actions would you take to bring about a change in the student's performance?
I love giving resources to home. Anything that I find on the computer that's extra resources, extra work, that the parents are like, hey, please help us out. I always send a note to the parent, hey, I'm seeing some more resources, would love if you're able to help your child. If not, if a big brother, big sister. If not, hey, would you want to, skip recess today and do some extra work with me? I'll make it fun. Just making kind of an incentive for learning to be fun and making the kids and the home life connection kind of come together, because some of the parents don't have computers, the resources. So having those extra resources to give to the parents, I think, is very important.
As a cooperating teacher, would you seek feedback from your student teacher to enhance student learning?
Yes.
What strategies would you use to collect such information from your student teacher?
So definitely anecdotal notes, maybe giving her samples of my lesson plan. I'll evaluate myself, but also have her maybe record me. Maybe I use some filler language, which I'm always bound to use, or maybe I should have said something more effectively in a lesson. I'm all about feedback. I love getting feedback, even if my principal comes in randomly and gives me all negative feedback. Please do. I want to know what's best for my kids. I'm not going to be hurt about it. I'm very open-minded, and I love criticism.
Could a colleague's teaching style be way too student-centered?
Yes, I could see that.
Okay. A close colleague of yours tells you your teaching style is too student-centered. What would you say to your colleague?
I would think that if I have the data to show that my student-led is working, then I guess it's working. But I want to be able, I know I have the facts and the assessments before I can say, oh yeah, it's working. I want to make sure that's working for all my students, because if there's no data to prove that there's growth in my student achievements, then there's something I need to be changing in my teaching style.
The proposed curriculum guide requires you to spend more time with students on classroom learning and less time on real-world applications. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, yes.
What would you say to your principal in this conversation?
I would say that I guess I could put both into perspective, that I would be teaching the academics, but make it to where the kids' interests are involved, so that it is real life for them. Because some kids are like, oh, I won't need this when I'm older. We'll make it to where it does connect the academics with their interests and real life.
One of your colleagues believes every student in her classroom can be motivated to learn. Is that realistic?
I feel like with the right teacher, yes.
Okay. How do you get all students to learn?
By loving to learn, by loving to teach. I love teaching, and I love kids so much, and seeing them just be able to read one sight word, I just get so excited for them, and you see them get so excited for themselves. So some kids, yes, you need hey, I'll give you a piece of candy, or hey, you can get some extra iPad time. Those are for my friends who are on behavior plans, who have just a harder time in school. So hey, if you can get 7 smiley faces, you can have that extra 5 minutes of iPad time, and they work. you can see how hard they work during school to get those 7 smileys. And they'll ask, Miss Young, how many smileys do I have so far? And the kids who are already just motivated, challenge them, get them deeper thinking so that they aren't getting bored with the academics and they are being challenged in school as well. So I think both ways definitely motivating.
Okay. Your school has an initiative to partner on a project with a business person in your community. How would you respond?
Yes.
How would you connect this partnering to student learning?
I would put it towards, we had career day the other day. We had we had someone with a helicopter, we had an athlete, we had a chef come and just show the kids so they can apply those real life scenarios to the academics. So just having them, hey, let's teach about fire safety. Let's teach about what we do during a fire drill. Have a fireman come. Because I feel like that is more engaging than let's watch a PowerPoint on what to do during a fire. Let's have a real fireman come in and show us and be engaged so they can come home like, oh my gosh, Mom, I can't wait, for the next fire safety drill. And just kind of putting real life with academics and having them show them the real life scenarios.
Thank you. Your students are not understanding the worth and dignity of classmates who are different. Is that possible?
Yes.
So what would you do to bring about a change?
So I like to have classroom meetings. If I notice bullying, which is a big thing that I really do not like in my classroom, teasing, or even just like things like tattling, we always sit down, we kind of like have a little like bear or something fun we like to play with. Whoever has the bear gets to talk. Hey, talk about a time you've been bullied, and then we'll all kind of go around, think about what could we have said instead. How do you think that made her feel? Kind of put it so it's in their shoes as well. We've all been bullied. We've all been teased, and we've all probably tattled on each other. What are other ways that we can solve this together so we're not doing it in the classroom together? Because I feel like as a classroom, you're together. That's your family in a classroom. So I feel like we should just have a big bond if we're in the same classroom.
So this concludes the questions we have for you today. Is there anything else you would like to tell us about yourself?
I just want to let you know that I'm a very proactive, hard worker. I'm a go-getter. I love kids, obviously. I mean, I think I smiled this entire interview. I just want to say congratulations on the 150th year. That's very exciting. And I hope you pick the best candidate.
Thank you very much. We appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you for your time
Thank
today.
you.